Welcome back to Blam Blam Truckers. I'm Blam. Blam is not with me today. I'm Bees. Buse is not with me today. Or at least not right now. We'll probably talk this evening in about 4 hours. I'm going to try and do Paladins real quick. No, that's not happening. I'm going to try and explain Paladins and do a decent job of it. And we'll see how long it takes. Tell a few stories, get in, the Transformers. Sunstreaker here has been waiting for this for a while now, right, Sunstreaker? No. All right. You like flopping as a monk more, I think. Here we go. Paladin, Paladin, where do you roam? Paladin, Paladin, far, far from home. Paladins. Paladins are the first of the hybrid classes, true hybrid classes, that we're going to be talking about. It's Paladins, Rangers, and Shadow Knights. I guess Beast Lords counted. Okay, they're the second of the true hybrid classes that we're going to be talking about after Beast Lords. Some people call Bards a hybrid class, but Bards have entirely their own spells, which I think is one of the problems with the hybrid classes. They don't get mostly their own spells, especially their buffs, which, what's the point of using them if they don't stack in groups with your other counterpart there? So for Paladins, it's Clerics, for Beast Lords, it's Shaman, for Rangers, it's Druids, and for Shadow Knights, it's Necros. So why? I never understood this. They should have had their own spell lines. From the beginning, they start giving them their own spell lines. What? With Brells, whenever Brells comes in? Which I don't know. We'll see if we get down to it. Paladins are half warrior, more like 60% warrior, 40% cleric, maybe 70-30. Depends on your playstyle, really. Which is why starting over here with their spells doesn't make as much sense as starting with their skills. So we will start there, but before we do that, Paladins fulfill one major, there's 6 roles in group. We're going to go over it again. No, jelly rolls are not one of those roles. The 3 classics, tanking, damage, and healing. The 3 from EverQuest. Buffing, debuffing, pulling, and crowd control. Paladins do a little bit of all of it, and the only thing they do incredibly well is tanking. Yeah. There is nothing a Paladin does better than any other class, except maybe putting it all together as a tank. Not a great solo class. You can't get a clicky necklace to give you snare like Dark Elf Clerics do. You can't even be a Dark Elf Paladin. They're an okay solo class, especially against undead. They can outlast. They are the defensive strong point. They're one of the strongest classes defensively between armor and spells. Arguably, it's between them and warriors for who can take a hit the best. Shadow Knights are in the background going, "What about us?" You don't get the buffs. If you have the same skill caps as Paladins, and that's great, but you don't get the same buffs they do. If you're talking just on their own without the help of anyone else in the group, Paladins can be the strongest defensive player in the game. It comes down to disciplines and AAs and all that between them and warriors, but yeah. And Shadow Knights are excellent tanks, by the way. And I think they're actually, in a lot of ways, they're a very different flavor than Paladins. Paladins and Shadow Knights are going to give you 2 very different flavors of playstyle as tanks. All right, let's cover these. These are going to be very similar for Shadow Knights. So the combat skills, that's mostly what we'll glance over at the casting skills, but combat skills. You get 1-hand blunt, 1-hand slashing, 2-hand blunt, 2-hand slashing, and I believe you get 2-hand piercing later on. You get, which are like lances. You get piercing, archery. Those are your offensive weapons that you can use. Other skills you get at level 1, bind wound, defense, hand-to-hand. Oh yeah, that would technically count. Lay Hands, which is a Paladin exclusive ability where you can heal, which pretty much gives you a complete heal you can use once an hour. I think it's once an hour. I could be wrong on that. Don't worry about it too much. You can use it every so often. The timer, it'll tell you what the timer is when you equip it to your bar. It is now considered an AA that is exclusive to this class. Then offense and defense, you level those up. So you don't even really notice it. Taunt, you're one of 4 classes to get taunt. I believe you are the first class we have covered that has taunt. Taunt is snap aggro. I cannot stress this enough. It is not cumulative aggro. If you already have the attention of the mob and you hit taunt, you are not going to get any more of the attention of the mob. Which doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, especially during the levels where you're leveling up taunt, which you want to do. You want to level up taunt. But yeah, it's not... When you're in the mix and things count and you lose aggro, taunt is the button that gets it back for you. If taunt works, if it lands, if you've got it maxed out and it lands, it puts you at the top of the aggro list, and then it is your job, as whatever tank class you're playing, to keep it there. And frankly, paladins are the second worst at this. And I don't mean that they're bad at it. I mean warriors are the worst, paladins are the second worst, then shadow knights and rangers are the best. Shadow knights are excellent at it. Paladins, eventually, at level 28, they get their first stun, and they become amazing at it. After Lucklin drops, I think it's Lucklin, you get cease and desist, which are 2 lower level stuns, and you become amazing at it from the moment you get cease or desist, or whichever one comes first. So, taunt is a snap aggro. It is not a cumulative aggro. It gets you to the top of the hate list, and then it's on you to stay there. And we'll talk about how paladins do that in a bit. Bash. At level 6, you get bash. That means you hit them with their shield, and it is an interrupt. It is like a half of a second of a stun, if that. It interrupts spellcasting. It is, if you've got a shield equipped, use it every time. If you don't have a shield equipped, oh well. Dodge. You get dodge at 10, making you more defensive. Parry. You get parry at 17, making you more defensive. Both of these give you a chance to avoid... This is what we call avoidance aggro. Avoidance AC versus mitigation AC. So, and you're good at both. Dodge and parry and riposte, you get a check. So, do they straight up miss you? No? Okay. So first thing is going to check is your dodge. Do you dodge out of the way? No? Okay. Do you parry it? No? Okay. Do you riposte? No? Okay, then you're taking all the damage. And if you take all the damage, then it goes to your armor class, and that will then, in turn, take away some of the damage. That's mitigation AC versus avoidance AC. Anyway, you get all of the skills a warrior gets. You get them, not all of them. You get all of these skills for defense that a warrior gets. You do get double attack, and eventually you do get disarm, which almost nobody uses, which is too bad, because it's an excellent skill, especially against magical weapons, which takes the magical weapon out of the mob's hand and puts it in their inventory, making them that much easier to defeat. Okay, so those are the attack skills. Keep all of your weapon skills maxed, in case you get into a situation where you get a new weapon. Or get them close to max, and then when you get a new weapon that uses that skill, if you go for... You're going to want a one-handed skill, so you can use a shield when you're tanking, and a two-handed skill for just doing damage. Your damage with melee is good. It's probably the worst in the game for the melee classes. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Actually, that's bards. It is, it's bards. You're one from the bottom. That's including your spells. So you're not bad. Not by any stretch of the imagination, but your heavy damage comes from wielding two-handed weapons. You can never wield two swords. Neither can Shadow Knights. So you guys are equals there. Shadow Knights do more damage with their spells. You don't do more damage with your spells. You do a lot of stuns, which gets you very heavy aggro. When I say you're the third worst in the game out of the 4 classes that get taunt, I didn't say you were bad at it. You're just not as good as a ranger or a shadow knight who can both spam low-level spells. Well, you don't have any low. The only low-level spell you have to spam is blindness, which has consequences to it, but that's what you're going to do to hold aggro. And frankly, it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. All right, let's get on to casting skills. You get all of the casting skills that. You do get channeling. I gotta check something. I may have given out bad information earlier. Classes. I don't know. Druids? Let's go with druids. Druid skills. Oh, specializations. You don't get specializations. You do get channeling. Beautiful. Okay, let's go back. That's what I was thinking. Excuse me. So, wow. This is pretty. That's quests. I want skills. Here we go. Okay. That was what I said earlier in the monk video. Was it monk or necro? Probably necro. As a paladin, as a hybrid class, as any hybrid class, you don't get to specialize in your spells. You do not reduce the... Yeah, I got that completely wrong. All right, that's okay. You do not get to reduce the amount of mana your spells cost. They will always cost more. That's why, even though you are the 4th best healer in the game, you'll never be as good as a druid. You just... Not only do you not have the... From stats, you're focused on like 5 stats. We'll talk about that. But not only are you focused on 5 stats, you never get to specialize. Specialization reduces fizzle, I think it's fizzle rate and the cost of mana. So it increases your mana efficiency. You never get that. You're a hybrid. Rangers never get that. Shadow Knights never get that. Beast Lords never get that. Which means your healing spells will always cost the full amount before gear. Before gear changes this. Gear can impact this. AAs might be able to impact this. I don't know. AAs aren't what we're covering here. Because of that, the 3 main healing classes, the priestly classes, cleric, shaman, and druid, are always going to have more mana, effectively more mana than you are, and be able to heal more than you are. Even though you get channeling, which reduces casting speed, and you get the same basic casting skills, you never get the specializations. It's part of being a hybrid. You get to dip into both pools, but you don't get to swim in the deep end of either. Oh, that's a good analogy. Oh, I should write that down. Okay. Stats. Stats are going to matter. We're not getting into the AAs. These are the races you get to choose. Nice, huh? Nice for P99 to put up these nice, very useful charts here. As you can see with a very quick glance, you want to be a dwarf, or a dwarf, or a dwarf. They just have the best stats. And they're dwarves. And if you use the old model, they do somersaults when they jump. So, as a dwarf, or a dwarf, or a dwarf, you start with 100 strength. Strength is melee damage. Most of the damage you're going to do is melee damage. You have the highest melee damage stat. This won't matter if you're planning on playing after Bellius. Enough gear is going to come out that these stats go with what you think looks cool. But this is classic. And most of the game, you're not going to have that availability to you from gear. Okay. Stamina. Stamina is number 2. This is... Arguably, wisdom is number 2, but it's either wisdom or stamina for what is your most important number 2 spot. You're taking a lot of hits. You want the stamina. I'm not talking about AC. AC beats out stamina when you're picking out gear, but we're not picking out gear. We're talking about the base stats of your character, of your toon. Buck naked, these are your stats. Gear-wise, you're looking for AC over stamina, but we're not talking about that right now. You have the best stamina as a dwarf. Number 2 is humans for both of those categories. Number 3 is half-elves, then erudites, then at the very bottom are high elves. Two most important stats, arguably. Wisdom might be the most important stat, and you're at the bottom of the list. And yet there are more high elf paladins I see running around than any other race. They're very pretty, and I mean very pretty. Okay. Agility. Okay, dwarves are lacking here. They're at the bottom with erudites. You need to spend 5 points to get agility to 75. As I've said in probably every single video I've made so far about EverQuest, once agility gets past 75, it's not worth putting any points into. It's not worth getting rid of gear that happens to have agility on it, but don't pick something because it has agility on it. Agility is worthless after 75. It's not completely worthless, and it won't be worthless much, much later in game, like a year and a half after launch. But it is pretty much worthless. So for 1 point of agility, I think we figured it out. It was something like 50 points of agility get you 1 point of AC after 75. It could be 20 points of agility get you 1 point of AC. It is negligible. Get the armor class. Dexterity. Dexterity is important. It is the least important of the skills you want, of the stats you want to improve. And there's only one other stat you want to improve, and that's wisdom. So we're talking 4 stats here you're really interested in. Strength, stamina, dexterity, which is at the bottom, and wisdom. Dexterity, as if you watch any of the other videos, will increase the likelihood of procs. It increases the rate at which you learn offensive skills. That's not a big deal. I've never played a melee class that didn't max out whatever weapon I was using. That's not true. Without experience boosting buffs, which I've experienced on some of these TLPs, if it's regular leveling speed, you will keep up. But dwarves are the highest in dexterity by a lot. As you look at this chart, the only ones who come close are half-elves. Nobody is as good at the 4 stats you want as dwarves are. Last is wisdom. Wisdom is your mana pool. The more wisdom you have, the more mana you have. That's it. It's a mana pool. You want that to be high. Out of the 4 stats you need, dwarves are high on 4 out of 4. If it was me building a paladin, I would drop 5 points. I would make a dwarf. I'd drop 5 points on agility. I'd probably put 5 points on stamina to get it to 100, or I'd drop it on wisdom. It's either stamina or wisdom. You could put it directly into strength and increase your damage, but you're going to get strength gear. You're going to get stamina gear. I would put it into wisdom to start, so you have a bigger mana pool. You start with 20 points you can allocate as a hybrid. 5 of them go to agility. I'd put the other 15. I disagree with him here. I would put the other 15 as a dwarf into wisdom, which would bring you to 103. Not a bad starting wisdom score. Second highest out of all the classes, out of all the races you can pick here. Second highest wisdom, highest stamina, highest strength, highest dex, lowest agility. Put 5 points into agility. Having said that, nobody's going to listen to me. You're not going to see 1,000 dwarf paladins out there. You don't see them out there now. People do not play paladins for their statistical bonuses. I do, but I'm weird. Paladins as a class are not considered a statistical bonus class. They're amazing tanks, and their capacity to crowd control I have not gotten into yet. It's called the spell Root, and it is fantastic. Anyway, you're the only plate class, except for clerics, you're the only plate melee class that gets Root. That's something to think about. Yeah. People make whatever kind of paladins they think look cool. That is how people choose their races often. Most of the race combos I see are that. Every once in a while, then you see the rest of us who are playing dwarves and ogres and erudites and Ixar. If you occasionally halflings. Or what else for druids? All right, sorry. Bards, Rangers, and Druids are the exception to that rule. Otherwise, you'll see us all as stupid min-maxers who want the statistical advantage more than they want to look cool. That's us. We are playing ogres and dwarves. We are playing barbarian rogues. I made my case. Look, play something. The best class you can choose to play is the one that makes you want to log in and play. It's the one you enjoy. It's always going to be the one you enjoy. Okay? There's no significant bonus beyond those stats for being any of these other races. There just isn't. Not for the Paladin class. Erudites get some nice special gear just for them for following Praxis or Quellius. Yeah, they do. It's nice. And you know what? That was in Classic in Kunark. That's not going to matter. By Velius, it doesn't matter at all. So, and those three are dropping. Those three. I hold up two fingers. Those three! Those three are dropping all at once. So, if you're doing a run to the top or even a slow walk to the top, it's not gonna have that big of an impact. As much as Dwarf is the only statistical choice, it's very few classes have a race that stand out that obviously. Necromancers with Ixar, Shaman with Ixar, or Trolls, specifically Inarok following Trolls. Dark Elf Clerics, if you want to solo, it's there. There's a few out there that I highly recommend. Statistically, honestly, a human paladin isn't that far behind a dwarf paladin. They're behind them, but they're not that far behind. And they don't have to waste 5 points in agility, so they can put a full 20 points into, say, wisdom, and now they're at 100 wisdom, and they're only 15 to 30 points behind the dwarf. That sounds like a lot, but by the time you're done with Velius, or even into Kunark, decently, you're going to be getting the stat gear to even that out a bit. So, charisma is something to consider. They say it's part of the resist rate for the lull line of spells. I don't subscribe to that. I've been a dwarf cleric in almost every cleric I've ever played, except for the first one, who was a high elf. And, yeah, that's just not the case. Maybe it is, but it's not a major check because I can lull and pacify just fine. As a dwarf cleric, I assume you can as a dwarf paladin. I certainly remember doing it but on my last paladin, but he only got up to like 40, and that was 20-something years ago, or whatever it was. So those are race combos. So how far are we into this? 23 minutes. We haven't even talked about what your play style looks like and what roles you're good at. You're great at tanking. You are fantastic in a group as a tank. In fact, you're so good at tanking, we now see paladins doing quite a bit of not only off-tanking, but main tanking on certain raid mob bosses. There we go. I shouldn't have tried to do this video today. I'm more than recovered than I usually am from Thursday now, but wow, that was a wreck. Today's Saturday. I'm doing 2 videos for fun and profit. Except for the profit part, because, having 5 viewers and 52 subscribers isn't getting us any money from YouTube. Sometimes you just do it for love of the game or, to level yourself up in real life. Okay, let's talk about your spells. Let's talk about why you're such a great tank. And you do damage. You don't do a ton of damage, but you do damage. And you can outlast your enemy. And you can root them if they run away, which, again, you're the only plate-wearing taunt. You're the only plate-wearing class with taunt who can root. That's very specific, but it's true. Rangers can also root, and they can snare. All in all, they're probably, if they had higher AC, they would easily be the best tank in the game for grouping. No questions asked, but they don't. But that's for the Ranger video. This is for the Paladin video. Let's go over what you get and what it looks like to play these guys. Mostly, before 30, you look a lot like a warrior. Sorry to tell you, but you do. After 30, you look still a lot like a warrior, but a warrior with stun. 28. All right. First spell you get, so ignore that level 1 salve that you get with Gates. We're not getting to Gates. We're staying in Classic for the purpose of this video. You get Flash of Light at level 1. Flash of Light is a blind. It is a very high aggro spell. You can spam it. The problem is if you spam it and you're not in melee range when it lands, there's a very high chance that the mob will run away because they've been blinded. If they know someone's there, they're going to swing at you. It has the impact of decreasing attack. That's nice. And it adds a lot of aggro. This is your aggro aggregate spell. But again, with the possibility of the mob running away as like a fear spell, it is, you need to know that before you start using it. Get in melee range, get in a few swings, taunt it a few times, then hit Flash of Light. Don't pull with Flash of Light. The mob will run away. Pull with your bow and arrow. Go, you have archery. Go get a bow, go get some arrows. Congratulations. With the worst bow in the game with a range of 50 and the worst arrows in the range with a range of, I want to say 25 or 50, the average spell range is 50. Maybe it's 100. Who cares? You're within, you can pull now with your bow and arrow. Go get a fletching kit. Well, as soon as you can, not as soon as you can afford it, when you can afford it, probably around level 10. Make your own arrows. Keep a stack of the 10. Keep a stack of 1,000 of the 4 pieces of the basic arrow. You are not looking to become the next Robin Hood. You just want to keep your archery skill up so you can hit your target once. If you hit him twice, that's gravy. That's free damage. Well, it's not. The arrows cost money. If you hit them 3 times before they get to you, wonderful. Wonderful. But if you don't, who cares? As long as you got their attention with the bow and arrow. Again, you're not looking to become a ranger here. You're just looking to get their attention. And the bow and arrow does that better than the rest of your spells. Having said that, I'm going to say the same thing to the warrior video, and I'm going to say the same thing at the Shadow Knight video. If you improve your bow and your arrow, which I don't suggest the arrow, but you can get bows that get up to 150 range. Not as you're leveling necessarily, but... All right, let's go over here and I'll show it to you. Trade skills. Fleeching. For fletchers. For fleechers. They do fleeching. It's called fletching. All right. Doobie and doobie doo. This is a great page for learning how to fletch in game. It shows you how to make arrows. It shows you all the arrows you can make. This is not a useless chart, but it's pretty useless. This shows you some other stuff, and then this is all the bows you can make in game. This is the bow chart we're looking for. Now you're just looking for, if your basic bow, a hickory hemp bow, which only takes 16 skill to trivialize, doesn't mean you're going to make it every time, but chances are high once you get 17 trivial, you can make this more often than not. Cheapest bow in the build to make, 0.2 ratio, not a bad ratio, 50 range, 10 damage, 50 delay. Pretty nice bow, really. Yeah, that's 50 range. Next, to the 75 range, we're down here at the Elm Hemp Bow. I'm going to scroll up a little. Again, all it takes is elm and a hemp string. This was hickory and a hemp string. Not hard to make. 68, trivial. I can get you past that with the next chart, or the chart after that. We'll show you how to make arrows quickly to get your skill of this over 100. So now you can, if you do that, you can get the 75 range bow. In fact, you can get your fletching up so fast in less than 20 minutes that you'll be able to make the ash hemp bow, which has the range of 100. Congratulations, add on the range of your arrow, and you now are at a longer range for pulling than any caster in the game. Bows are awesome. Oak hemp, 125, and then 150 is down here. For darkwood and hemp, you need a skill of 215 to make it. You're not going to get there. You could. You might. This might become the thing you love, but you're not. Most of us aren't going to get there. All right, next chart. This is the wrong chart. This is the where to buy stuff chart, the vendor's chart. This is the leveling fletching skill chart. You follow this chart, And this is accurate in TLPs. I know this is for P99, but this is accurate in TLPs. And just by following this chart, spending a little bit of money, you're going to get to, actually, it's quite a bit of money to get to trivial skill 202. It is. It's a lot of money. But you're not looking to get to this trivial skill 202. You're looking to get to trivial skill, excuse me, about 150 to make a bow that can get you 100, or what was it, 168. Excuse me again. Sorry. To get to 125, the basic 125 bow that will let you fire at such an incredible range is 168. Let's go back down here. We're scrolling again, people. You know how much I know you love scrolling. 168. Boom. Close enough. 162, 182. Okay, you can do that. Just follow this chart. Do exactly what it says. When you hit 16, when you trivial out your basic arrow at 16, you move on to this arrow, which is you only change one thing. The reason why this is so cheap is these are the 4 cheapest arrow parts. So now you use the 3 cheapest arrow parts and the one that makes it more difficult. Now you use the 3 cheapest arrow parts and the one that makes it more difficult. Then you use the 3 cheapest arrow parts and the one that makes it more difficult. I don't remember how much cash it took me. I've done this a number of times. I get up into the 160s and I call it quits. I usually do it on like my 2nd or 3rd day. If I already have a class that is feeding my, if I'm doing this as an alt, I'll do this before I go out and start fighting. I will. It's worth it. It's worth it to be able to get. I usually nowadays, because I'm sending a bow down, I stop at like 56 because all I want to be able to do once I have a good bow, and by good bow again, I judge a bow as a puller. I judge a bow by its range, not by its ratio, but by its range. That is a starting position. We are not looking to change the world here and do tons of damage with your bow. As you level and you find better bows, equip them. But you're looking for that range. That's the thing that you're interested in, is the range. Okay. It is not 182 skill. It's still within an afternoon. These arrows cost 4 plat a piece to combine. These cost 20 copper, 31 copper, 41 copper. So that's 2 silver, 3 silver, 1 copper, 4 silver, 1 copper, 5 silver, 6 copper per arrow. 9 silver, so basically these are a plat a piece. Type 5s are a plat a piece. 2 plat, 3 plat, 7 plat. Not 7, that's gold. I jumped one here. 2, this is 1 gold apiece. 2 gold, 3 gold, 7 gold, 11 gold, so that's 1 plat, 1 gold. 1 plat, 4 gold, 4 plat. And these get cheaper again because the ceramic vein is cheaper than the silver tip, and you're down to 3 plat per arrow to make those. You don't need those. You probably want to stop somewhere when you run out of plat or before you run out of plat. So getting it up to be able to make 68 is when they're, 1 gold apiece. Go back to the bow and arrow chart. What does 68 get you? 68 gets you a 75 bow. 75 range, that's not bad. You want to go all the way up to making 129 for the 100 range bow? Let's go back down here. Where's 129? 7 gold apiece. 11 gold apiece. 1 plat, 1 gold apiece for an arrow to get you up to 135. That'll get you the 100 range bow. This is very affordable. Just wanted to go over that for you. This is really ranger talk to a point. You're a paladin. Pull with a bow. So many people I play with don't do that. It drives me up a wall. So that's your first spell, Flash of Light. That is your aggro holder. It will, if you use it right, it will do wonders for you till you get to 30. Yeah, if you don't do it right, the mob's going to run. This is not the easiest class to play to tank with. It gets there, but it doesn't start there. Level 3, True North. This is worthless. You have a total... This is good for leveling up Divination if your very next spell... Oh, your very next spell is Sense the Dead. Again, good for leveling up divination, and they both cost 5 mana. If you happen to get it, and you want to max out your divination so your IVU sticks, invisibility versus undead, great. Cure poison at 5. Get it, use it, love it. You're going to be using that until you get the upgraded version of it, which is like counteract or abolish poison or whatever. And that's a ways away. This is a very nice spell to have. It is not world shattering. It is not. Most of these are not world shattering. Next one, not world shattering yet. Minor healing. You get this before. You get this at the same time as Beast Lords and before the other, and before Rangers. It is the first healing spell that the 3 priestly classes get at level 1. It does, however, allow you to heal yourself, both in combat and out. Cease, not until Lucklin, which is too bad because it's a great spell. I hope they slip up and accidentally put Cease and Desist into the game. They won't. They might, but they won't. Courage, your first self buff. This is a cleric spell. Clerics get it at 1, you get it at 8. As soon as you get it, learn it, start using it. It's nice. It ups your armor class. It ups your HP. It's going to be overwritten by every druid and every cleric you group with. Good. In the meantime, use it. If they're not there, use it. You can buff. You can buff pretty well. If there's no cleric, or you buff about as well for defensive stats as a shaman. A little bit worse, I think. Maybe a little bit better. I don't know. I don't usually compare them. But you get cleric buffs, you just get them later, and those cleric buffs are very nice. Spook the Dead. This allows you to fear undead. You may use this at some point. You don't get I think you get a snare undead later. If you get a snare undead later, and I forget whether or not you do, you can solo undead super easy. Yelp. This will go on your spell bar, probably around 4 or 5, and it will never leave except for the upgrades to it. This is a super fast. Let's bring that up. Right click. Oh, open a new tabby. We like the new tabbies. All right. Casting time, half a second. Recast time, 18 seconds. It lasts for 24 ticks. You can recast it before it's done. 24 seconds, which is 4 ticks. It has an 18 recast time, so it lasts longer than it takes for the cooldown to wear off. You're going to be yelping all the time. Yelp gives you an increased strength and armor class. If you've got the mana and it doesn't cost any mana, it costs 1 mana. 1 mana. You're going to be yelping like a paladin. Huh, you are a paladin. Amazing how that works out. Put it on your bar, use it forever. Lull, put it on your bar. You can take it off your bar when you're not pulling. This is one of your pulling spells. This is part of what makes you a great puller and part of what makes you a great tank. If you've got 3 guys put together, you got, Megatron. I've talked about this in other videos. I'm going to do a quick version here. So you got Megatron and Bone Crusher here standing right next to each other, and you want to pull Bone Crusher. You target Megatron. You hit him with the lull. Actually, you target the closer one, Bone Crusher. You hit him with the lull. That takes his awareness down to much less. Then once he's lulled, and it shows up on his debuffs, which you can see on the target window. You pull the farther away Megatron, you back him up with a lull. Now he's lulled. You pull his aggro radius is practically nothing. It used to be like this, but now it's nothing. You pull Bone Crusher, Megatron stays. Congratulations, you've just taken the very, very short course on pulling as a paladin. Use your bow to do the hit. Have I mentioned bows yet? Cure disease. Like cure poison, you're going to want this. If you're fighting things that disease you, it is usually quicker, especially rabies. I hate rabies. Rabies lasts like an hour or 2 hours, and it just does 1 point of damage every tick. It's obnoxious. It stops you from meditating. It's just obnoxious. All right, you get cure disease, use it. It's utility. You get a lot of utility spells. Use it. Light healing. This makes you, again, you're getting this at 12, and Rangers get it at 20, Beast Lords get it at 18. You're starting to see that you get why you're the 4th best healer in the game. you get the regens. I'm sorry, you get the heals. 13, desist again. I hope it's in the game, but it doesn't come in until Luckland. I don't expect to see it. 14, ward undead. Thus begins your hate affair with the undead. Clerics get it at 4. Necros get it at 6. Paladins get it at 14. Shadow Knights get it at 18. This is a direct damage spell that only works on undead. Does that make you great at dealing with undead? Yes. Yes, it does. Thanks for asking. You're going to cast this. You're going to cast this a lot. If you follow the traditional leveling path of original, the original leveling path of the classic leveling path of original. There's got to be a better way to say that. You will go starting area, crush bone to 12. Then you go to state of unrest where almost everything is undead. You stay there until 28 or so, and going all the way down to the basement, you can stay there till 35 technically, and the experience is still pretty good. You go from unrest to lower guck at 28 in the bedroom or higher. Everything down, almost everything down there is undead. Not the gargoyles, not the animals. Some of the animals might be. Not the... I don't know if the animated hand is undead. You go from 28 to 45 in lower guck. You can go all the way to 50 technically, but it slows down around 45. When you hit 46, you're like, is there a better zone for me to level in right now? Yes and no. Then you go to the hole where there is an undead section. You're going to be doing, if you follow that path, which a lot of people do, you will be doing a lot of fighting undead. You also get Hammer of Wrath at 14. This may be the only time you use this. This is an entire spell line. It's very nice. This will probably be the only one you use. And probably only if this is your first character on the server. And we will bring this up to show you why. We don't talk about ratios as much here as we did with the monks. But as you can see on these stats here, this is your summoned Hammer of Wrath. It's 632. Okay. Let me bring up my calculator, which you guys can't see, but you can do the math at home. So 632. So 6 divided by 32 equals. It is 0.18. Now that doesn't sound like much when we're talking about 0.6 at max level, but we're not at max level. We're at level 14 or so. Yeah, 14. This ain't bad. It's summoned, so it goes away. You have to summon it, but you only have to summon it once per session. So you summon it at the beginning of your day. You get a hammer that has 632 plus 3 bane damage to undead. So if you're fighting undead with this, it becomes a 932. Let's see what that does. Clear. 9 divided by 32. You now have a weapon with a ratio of 0.28. That's really good for level 14. And if you're following the traditional leveling path, you're going to be fighting undead. All right. Let's go back to spells. Holy Armor. Stacks with Courage. Have them both on you all the time. Halo of Light. You may never use this spell ever, but you might. Let's take a look at it and you'll see why. Where is my cursor? Oh, there you are. I missed you so. Halo of Light. Here's what it actually does. It is a head spot with 3 AC. Hopefully by 15 you have better armor than that in your head spot. It is also a light source, but you can just adjust the slider for your gain or whatever it's called, and that gets rid of that. You don't need... Being blind as a human is a choice now. It didn't used to be, but it is now. Invis versus Undead. This is why you want to practice with one of these two spells up here that are also Divination, either Sense the Dead or True North, so that when you get this at 15, you can cast it and it'll land, and you won't be like, fizzle, fizzle, fizzle. I'm sorry, 17. IVU gets you into undead areas. It's nice. It'd be nice if you could also get invisibility, but just go buy a stack of cloudy potions, and while you're there, get a stack of fish kill potions for breathing underwater. You might get through the entire stack of fish skills in your full run. You probably won't. You will go through multiple stacks of cloudy potions, which turn you invisible. You just do. Clerics do. Paladins do. you're trying to get to place without getting into a fight. Reckless Strength. This gives you a short, very short burst of strength, which is nice. But it also, when it wears off, you go into negative strength. I don't know, most paladins don't use. Most of the paladins I know don't use it. You can use it or not use it. It's your business. Root, level 19. Congratulations. You are now a crowd control. I don't know if you're ever going to bother upgrading this. You do get better versions of Root later on, but you can park mobs. You can park melee mobs now. If you're out fighting animals or most undead, yeah, you can just pull them a few feet away from the group so they're out of melee range, root them, get back into the fight. I used to do this all the time on my ranger. It is amazing. It is simple. If there's no enchanter or other crowd control in the group, when you're pulling, you can also use root. So you pull and lull doesn't work, or they're too close or whatever, and if you get both Megatron and Bone Crusher, pick one and root it, and the other one will keep coming. You got 30 seconds to kill this thing or do it a lot of damage before root wears off and Bone Crusher comes to. Root makes it easier for you to single pull. It makes it easier for you to do root CC. It is a wonderful spell. It is one of the reasons I am planning on playing a paladin. I might switch that to monk, that monk video. Oh man, I miss monkeying around. I might do druid. Druids are awesome, but that's a little bit more thinking than I want to do at the end of the day after working 10 hours. Okay, level 20 center replaces courage. It's the upgrade. Use it. Get it? Use it. Endure poison. Get it? Use it. If you're fighting mobs that poison, like snakes, put it on beforehand. You might not get poisoned. Reanimation. I think you need to go to either Eridan or Dwarf Town to get this one. Let's see where it is sold at. This is a 0% res, which means you don't get any experience back, but you don't have to do your corpse run. People are going to be looking for this. They're not going to be looking too hard. They'd rather get a cleric to do it and get some experience back. But clerics get it at 12, you get it at 22. There are people who will take this just so they don't have to do the corpse run. It is sold in Akanon, which may or may not be sold there in the game. East Freeport by a character who I don't think comes in by then. And then in Eridan, Nariak for their, whatchamacallit, North Caledon for their clerics, not for their paladins. They don't have paladins. North Caledon, North Quainos, Rivervale. I guess it's sold quite... It is not sold in Freeport. For all of you human paladins in Freeport. It is... Oh, it is sold in Freeport. West Freeport and East Freeport. All right. Good. Some of these res spells, they're not sold. They are more restricted. The ones that came in later. All right. Reanimation. Hammer of Striking. This is the upgrade to your hammer line. You might still need this. At this point, you probably have a better weapon. Symbol of Tronsail. This stacks with both Courage and Holy Armor. Or what's it called now? Center and Holy Armor. Always have it up. Soothe. Upgrade to Lull. Instrument of Knife. That's a Luckland spell, but it adds a proc, which you need all the damage you can get. I gotta see this. I know, it's the next expansion. I'm always like, yeah, we can skip it, but I want to see what this actually does. Condemnation of Knife. Decrease hit points by 163. Oh, what? Wow, that is a lot of damage. Decrease hit points by 163 at level 26. Luckland? Wow, that's a nice spell for balance right there. You don't cast that. You cast that as a buff on yourself, and then when you swing your sword, or whatever, you have a chance of proccing that. Of proccing 163 damage. Wow. Healing. Your next healing spell at 27. Rangers don't get it to 32. Beast Lords are right behind you at 28. I never realized how good of a healer Beast Lords were. Druids and Shamans get it at 19. You are now 12 levels behind. 8 levels behind them. 28. Stun, your bread and butter. 35 mana, and it's got a cooldown, so it's not perfect, but it gives you a 4-second stun. Why am I opening this in a new window? There we go. So you guys can see it. All right. Recast time, 12 seconds. This lands. It does a ton of aggro because it's a stun. It pauses them for 4 seconds. That lets you and your friends get 4 seconds of beating on the mob where it can't hit you back. And now the mob's really mad at you for stunning it. This is win-win-win. And if it did a little damage, that'd be even better, but who cares? You now have your aggro. And the reason why, again, you have a harder time holding aggro than Rangers and Shadow Knights because you cannot recast this immediately. It's got 12 seconds before it can be recast. But if you have cease and desist, come Luckland, then you hit cease, you hit desist, you hit stun, and you start the cycle over again. You're going to get another stun spell here in a little few levels, like 20. And then you'll have 4 stuns, and you just cycle through them. One of the videos I watched, suggested that you put all 4 stuns, you set it up so it just says cast 1, cast 2, cast 3, cast 4, and you put your 4 stuns in there, and then you have one button that you hit, and if whatever else is on cooldown, so it'll cast the first one. Then the rest of them don't get cast because it's too busy casting the first one. So then you hit it again, and the first one's done. Number 1 is done, so it goes to number 2. And then when number 2 is done, you hit the button again, and it goes to number 3. And when number 3 is done, you hit the button again, it goes to number 4. Or if number 1 is ready, you go to that one. It would be your stun button. It's not a bad idea. Endure Magic, get it, buy it, use it. Endure Magic includes root spells, enemy root spells. It is the bane of all pullers. Get yourself cloaked in Endure Magic. Keep it up if you're pulling all the time. If you're going up against casters, keep it up because you're going up against casters. Reconstitution is your next res. Let's take a look at that. Where is it sold? It is only sold by 12. Also sold. Not in Freeport. Nope, West Freeport, East Freeport. Sold all over the world. Okay. I know if there's cleric reses, there's a lot of them. Well, this is a 10% res. You get a 10% res at 30. That's nice. Expulse Undead at 30. Again, more undead damage. Spirit Armor. Upgrade to Holy Armor. Get it? Use it. Reparation. Maybe this is one of the ones that I can show you isn't sold everywhere. Reparation you get at 31. It is a 20% experience return to you. And yep, this is sold everywhere too. Weird. Weird. I guess clerics get a lot more. Oh, what do you call it? Resurrections. That's okay. Cancel Magic. I don't know how much you're going to use this, but it is amazing. If you can fit it on your bar, keep it up. It gets rid of enemy buffs. Next symbol. Get it, use it. Counteract Poison, told you it was coming. Get it, use it. Divine Vigor, level 35. Increase max hit points by 100. Yeah, that's a Luckland spell. You're not going to see that in Classic. Greater Healing. Rangers don't get this till 44. Beast Lords get it 2 levels later. Wow, Beast Lords really are better healers than I thought. That's obnoxious. It's cool for the Beast Lords. Sorry. It feels when somebody else gets something, it feels like you're losing something. When somebody else gets something you have, it feels like you're losing something, but you're not. Sorry. Divine Purpose. Decrease mana by 3 per tick. Increase hit points by 8 per tick. You can buy this spell. This is a self-regen. You're trading mana for hit points. 3 mana for 8 hit points. It lasts a little while. It's not bad to have. You need hit points more than you need mana most of the time. Especially soloing. Daring replaces center or whatever one replaced center. Get it, buy it, use it. Endure Disease. Get it, buy it, use it. Yelp 2. It's an upgrade. Get it, buy it, use it. Guard. Get it, buy it, use it. Wave of Life is a Planes of Power spell. It is your first group heal. Not only does healing give you and your group help, it also does a lot of aggro. Revive. Just be aware it may not be available. Let's check. 35%. I keep checking these, and it keeps making me look like an idiot. Yep, sold by 16. You can probably buy that everywhere. Revive. It's everywhere you want to be. If you can't, go to the dwarves, go to the Eridan, go to Akanon, etc. Holy Might, your next stun. This is a 6-second stun, and it does decrease hit points by 10 to 60. That's not a big damage spell, but it's something. Those are your 4 stuns until level 50. Valor of Mar, Lucklin, Yakisha, Lucklin, Kunark. Divine Might, you have to quest to get this spell. I'll show you. Check this out. I am looking forward to this. Sold by 1, Plane of Knowledge. So, yeah, you're going to have to do the quest. The quest is a pain in the butt. I looked it over. It's worth it, though, because until Lucklin drops, this gives you, again, the same proc we were talking about. Same proc idea. But this one only decreases hit points by 65. Once Lucklin drops, that, the knife one that we talked about, you're never going to use Divine Might. Never. But you can get it at 45 if you can complete the quest. And then in Lucklin, you're just going to go up and replace it with... Where was it? Instrument of Knife. I wonder if they stack. Symbol of Pinzarn and Dismiss Undead at 46, 47. That's Lucklin. It's a pretty cool spell, though. Thunder of Karana reduces the mana of your target by 100. So you can mana drain the mob come Lucklin. Can't do it yet in original, but next expansion you can. Valor, nice. It's an upgrade. Get it, use it, love it. Armor of Faith, get it, use it, love it. Finally, you get Divine Aura, Invulnerability. This is a great spell. You get at the same level as Superior Healing. That is the last healing spell you will get in Classic. You will get others in Kunark. Divine Aura makes you invulnerable for like 8 seconds, 5 seconds, or 2 ticks, or whatever it is. Yeah. There are, when you are tanking, and it doesn't take your aggro away like it does for clerics. Or it used to do for clerics. They will beat on you and they can't hurt you for a few seconds. That's exactly what tanks want all the time. Divine Aura is awesome. Renewal. Again, it's your 50% res now. You're catching up to the cleric. You'll never catch him all the way. I think at 56 you get your final res. We'll see it in a minute. And that's only the 90%. You are the second best reser in the game. But you are one of the 3 resing classes in the game. We talked about how awful Necro is, having to sack somebody repeatedly to be able to get the reagent you need to do your 93% res. You get a 90% in about 10 levels, in about 6-7 levels. You'll see. Brel's Steadfast Aegis. Finally, in Planes of Power, they start giving you your own spell lines, which is good because you need them. Pacify at 49. This is the highest level lull you get in the game that I know of. Now watch. I'll be proven wrong. At least in the era we're talking about. Flame of Light is Velius. It is a direct damage for everyone. It is the first direct damage you get for everyone. Yay! It is not even remotely mana efficient. 85 mana for 125 hit points. But it's something. Resist disease, get it, use it, love it. You get your first discipline at 51. At 52, 50 is really disappointing without Velius. You get to Classic, you finish up, you walk in. Hey, you get resist disease. Yay. It's nice. It's a nice spell. It does what it says. It's no more, no less. You have the capacity to make yourself resistant to everything but fire and cold, I think. So disease, magic, and poison. That's nice. Use it. Use it in groups. If there's nobody else to give you those resists, give them to yourself. When you're fighting those mobs that use them, give it to yourself. Level 52, you get another stun. Does a little bit of damage. Pretty nice. Light of Life. That's Yakisha. Frenzied Strength. Again, it's like Berserker Strength. You end up with less strength than you started with, and you have to, it takes a little time to get that back. Velius, Divine Glory, increases max hit points by 150. Get it, use it, love it. You finally get another root at 54 with Instill. Get it, use it, love it. Quellius's Word of the Trank, that's Lucklin. Fearless Discipline, you get another Discipline. You can be resistant to fear for a few seconds. You get another Expel Undead. Great. Get your first wave of healing in Velius. Get it, use it, love it. It draws aggro. It makes you an aggro. Your AoE aggro is high. Healing aggro in this game is very high. If you get off a couple waves of healing, you're going to piss off all the mobs, even the ones that are mesmerized. They're going to come after you. That's great aggro. Restoration, 75% at 55. That's not bad. You got a 90 coming, though. Eldon. Holy Forge Discipline, which is nice. Resist Magic, which is nice. Yelp 3. Yelps keep coming and they don't stop coming. Card of... Alright, that's not in the game. Counteract Disease, yay. Healing Wave of Praxis, that's Lucklin. Blessing of Us, nope. Symbol, you get another symbol. Get it, love it, use it. Nullify Magic. Getting rid of the mob's buffs is wonderful. If you can take off their haste, if you can take off their Spirit of Wolf, you're going to be a hero. Generally, I say enchanters should be doing that, but who listens to me? Resurrection at 59. Now you get your 90% res. You are now officially the second best reser in the game. Thanks. It was always official. It was always true. And you get another... No, that's Seeds of whatever. I think we're done here. Level 60. Divine Strength. Very nice. Yelp 4. You just got a Yelp. Well, you're getting another one. Get it. Use it. Love it. Shield of Words. That's original. That is some kind of an AC. Oh, holy armor upgrade. Nope, nope. Brell's Mountainous Barrier. You're going to love that. Everybody wants that because it stacks with everything. Resolution. Again, great spell. You're probably only going to be casting it on yourself throughout your entire run. And then you get your Sanctification Discipline, which increases your chance to resist spells by 10,000%. And that's it. That's the game up to 60. I hope you enjoyed. If you're thinking about playing a Paladin, remember, you make an amazing tank. You do about average damage. You're not crazy there, but it's enough to solo slowly. And you can take more damage than a warrior can without buff. If a warrior can't buff himself, so potentially you can take more damage than he can if there's no one to do the buffs that you do. Yeah, if you're both soloing, you've got a shot because of the buffs and the healing. You can heal yourself in the middle of the fight. You can heal yourself after the fight and then med up. This is a pretty solid class. Very gear intensive. Hope you enjoyed. Keep on trucking, you blam blam truckers. And my cursor is nowhere near the stop button. I said keep trucking.